Welcome to Business Accelerants Memos with me, Paul Menig. We plan to accelerate your success by listening to the triumphs and challenges of other middle market leaders of manufacturing, technology, and transportation businesses. In this episode, I'd like to introduce you to one of my most important tools for business leaders to unstuck their business and restart a growth phase. Yellowstone was the first national park and is a national treasure, situated mostly in Wyoming with very small parts in Montana and Idaho. Wolves were considered a problem for wildlife and were eliminated in the park over 100 years ago. In 1995, after the gray wolf was listed on the endangered species list, it was reintroduced into the park. Missing from the park for more than 70 years, the reintroduction produced positive change in the natural environment, even to the point of changing the course of rivers as beavers built new dams. An amazing story with implications for your business. Are you missing something essential in your business that will put it back onto a growth path? Some foundational research on business growth was published in 2005 by James Fisher and updated in 2017 by Matt Pohl. The fundamental principle that is unique is that business complexity is driven not by sales revenue, but by the number of interactions among people in the business and the supply chain. A small company with 1 to 10 employees on the left has few communications paths to worry about, while the company, department, or business unit with a couple hundred employees, as on the right, has many more issues to deal with. Moving from the startup on the left to each stage requires some changes. Sometimes that change feels like you are being flooded with issues. At other times, the changes feel like the chaos that accompanies high winds in a tunnel. Thinking about all the interactions that occur in a business, consider the number of full-time employees. Add the number of contractors that work for you full-time. Add the number of part-time employees and possibly contractors. In some cases, add something for the number of customers and suppliers, outside resources you need to deal with on a regular basis. This will give you an estimate of the number of communications paths that are involved in the business. Organizational theory will then give you an idea of the number of managers and the number of executives you need to manage all those people. As you add people, you can predict there will be changes and problems to overcome. Perhaps you are familiar with the team dynamic called forming, storming, norming, and performing. I've lived that in the corporate world. As a new team member is brought in, the team regresses to forming and storming until norms are accepted and revised as necessary. The speed with which a team can progress from reforming to performing is a measure of the cohesiveness of the team. Consider a college sports team that gets new people every year and what they go through. Or consider the military as new recruits are brought in or new leaders are assigned. Here's some further insight into the wind tunnel and flood zone transitions as a company grows. Something must change at these points for the company to succeed. The focus of a company changes as it grows in number of employees as well. A startup with 1 to 10 people needs to focus on profits. A company with 50 employees cannot succeed without a focus on standardizing processes. The large company with a couple hundred employees will fail if it does not work to develop its people and inspire them to new heights and commitment. There are many challenges that companies face as they grow. It could be lost expertise, as in the second row, when a person leaves or is disabled by health issues. I hear many leaders talk about the resistance to change from both employees and board members and management. That's the reason the company cannot adapt to new challenges and the changes in their customers and the technology they need. Hiring quality people is a recurring problem in business, from the earliest days to the replacement of a CEO of a multinational company. Limited capital to invest in equipment and growth initiatives can keep a company stuck. Poor or no staff training won't help your turnover. Having profits but weak cash flow? That has killed many a business. Many owners know the stress of trying to meet payroll week after week, especially in a slow season. If you are listening and cannot see the slides, we've just touched on a few of the 24 classic challenges outlined, their symptoms, and the key elements that need attention and may need to be reintroduced to the business. Are your people optimists that see the potential and are gung-ho to build? Or are they more pessimistic and want to protect what has already been built? You need both in a business, and you need them in the right ratio, at the right time, in the right places. A startup needs a high ratio of builders to protectors, while the more mature companies need a balanced ratio. Have you heard of the Peter Principle? That's the idea that people rise to their level of incompetence. It's important for leaders to understand the needs of the business at different times and the needs of leadership from managers and staff. A startup almost needs the executive to be the primary influencer. The large company, on the other hand, needs to develop its leaders to take a more dominant role and be ready to lead. Many a business has been stuck in a middle stage of growth because the owner or leader became the hub of all decisions and could not let go or develop others to run the business. That leads to how each level of leadership thinks and acts. This rewilding set of tools includes 6 leadership styles. They are affiliative, coaching, commanding, democratic, pace-setting, and visionary. Another aspect of leadership is related. It is how you present yourself to others. Are you visionary and inspiring, helping see the end goal, the big picture, and how the people fit in? Or are you a manager that works closely with people to keep them informed and provide them the tools to knock down walls getting in their way? Or are you the specialist that knows every detail and can do it better than anyone else? You need the right faces of the leader in the right combinations at the right time for the business. The organizational rewilding toolset recognizes 6 foundational areas which need to grow proportionately. They are business development, business model and plan, finance, leadership, operations, and workplace community. Before you move to the next stage, 80% of the rules for the current stage should be complete. Incomplete rules will cause problems as you grow. They can not only get you stuck, but like trying to swim upstream, they can pull you back downstream. On the other hand, it is possible to see what is ahead and work on the rules for the next growth stage in advance. On this slide, I provide a few examples for the smaller businesses in the areas of business development, business model and plan, and finance. It involves sales, margins, cash, tracking key performance indicators, or, as I like to call them, key predictive indicators. This next slide covers some example non-negotiable rules for large companies, but in the other 3 foundational areas of leadership, operations, and workplace community. It involves leaders demonstrating core values daily, employee development, focusing on cost reductions, improving processes, and high utilization of assets. The organizational rewilding toolset encompasses 11 elements. Each element includes a number of exercises to help you better understand your business today and what it can be in the future. There are 4 areas: strategy, culture, leadership, and infrastructure. Strategy has the 2 elements of business model and business growth framework. Culture includes the 2 elements of brand and core values and one-to-one process. Leadership also has 2 elements: strong management team and interdepartmental planning. Infrastructure is much more broad and encompasses the 5 elements of business development structure, organizational structure, master processes, key performance indicators, and meeting structure. This slide shows when each element is critical in the growth of a company. 5 green dots indicates it is essential at that stage. 3 yellow dots indicates it is of importance, and 1 red dot indicates it is not expected at that stage. Some elements, such as business model, have to be re-examined at many stages of growth. Remember that forming, storming, norming, performing sequence? Adding more people forces the re-evaluation at each stage. Of course, it is not possible to just drop off a few wolves in Yellowstone and walk away to get to the end goal. The same is true with applying the organizational rewilding process to your company and making use of these most important tools. Typically, the process starts with a discovery conversation and possibly a rewilding business assessment. This leads to identifying the most critical elements that need attention. You cannot and should not try to do everything at once. Typically, you break it down into sprints to get to the healthy, resilient business that you desire. This is an awfully quick review of the organizational rewilding process and tools. If you would like to learn more, please contact me. You can use the Calendly link to schedule a discussion by phone or Zoom, and you can get to that link on my business website, businessaccelerants.com. If you would like a copy of the slides, reach out to me via email. Thanks much. You've heard the challenges, the triumphs, and/or the tools and strategies. Now it's time to apply them. Thanks for joining us on Business Accelerants Memos. For show notes and more tools designed for middle market leaders, visit us at www.businessaccelerants.com. Until the next dispatch, keep your momentum high and continue to accelerate your success.